Hello and welcome to Advertisers Watching Ads. This is a weekly show where brands discuss other brands' ads.
Imagine it would stop your scroll on social if you're seeing bums in your face.
Even big earners are going to question, is that worth me paying that amount more?
If we're saying that it is a brand play, that is a real shame because we're in a world where actually generating brand loyalty is really tough.
My name is Tom Ollerton. I'm the founder of Automated Creative, the creative effectiveness ad tech platform. And thanks to our sponsors, Contagious, who help us find the ad each week. So long-time partner of the show, and we love them very much. So thank you for that. So before we see this week's creative, let's meet this week's guests.
Hi, everyone. I'm Laura Lesser. I'm the client partner at Defiant.
Hi, everyone. I'm Hannah Bourne. I'm the marketing director at Penguin Random House Children's Books.
And hi, I'm Tom Holmes, the head of marketing for Altogether Dental at Haleon.
So today we are going to be looking at Trainline's Get Your Bum on Board campaign, launched in January this year. Very cheeky initiative to get us Brits to choose train travel over car journeys, with the promise that trains can produce 67 less CO2 emissions. Featuring comedian Asim Chowdhury, some kind of punky visuals. It's using humour and bold aesthetics to promote sustainable travel. But is it any good? Let's watch this week's ads.
They said it couldn't be done. Saving the planet, getting the climate back on track. But you've been sitting on something special this whole time. Your bum bum. That's right, that big heroic booty, that revolutionary rump, that glorious round thing can save this glorious round thing. Getting your tush on a train is 67% less polluting than traveling by car. 67% less. Nice. Crack net zero with that jiggly climate hero and take a stand just by sitting down. Go on, get your bum on board.
I came by train.
Right, okay, so scores out of 5. 1, 2, 3, hold your fingers up. 3 and a 4. Poor Trainline. I thought it was better than that. Right, Hannah, what did you think? What's going on?
There's a lot going on, is what I would say. I mean, I think it's like the I came by train strategy, like that kind of brand level strategy that's been running for a few years, hasn't it? And they've done various different things with it. And I think that is really interesting. Like that is like quite a brave and bold choice to make as a brand positioning, because I think, especially in a world of like a cost of living crisis, there was lots of other things you could do and things that the competition do around pricing that they're not doing. They're being very kind of clear about the potential value. That being said, I feel like there's been some interesting creative choices. I'm not sure. Is punk having a revival that I wasn't aware of? It's super punky and I don't entirely get that. It's possible I'm just not the target market, I guess, although I do travel a lot by train. So yeah, I don't know. I think that there's some, I can see the kind of brand strategy behind it, but I guess I feel like the creative choices might have slightly been done in a closed room, let's say.
Is it going after that age group? Is it sort of Gen X and sort of boomers maybe? But yet it feels quite sort of young, but it's so different, isn't it? Stylistically, it does stand out from the alternatives, I guess.
It's pretty chaotic, isn't it? But it stands out and it's like quite a fun, disruptive take on what could be quite a serious topic. It's really good they're talking about it. They have to include a fact to sort of back up their claims, because otherwise it might be accused of greenwashing. Really grabs attention, and you can imagine it translates really well to other platforms as well. So imagine it would stop your scroll on social if you're seeing bums in your face. And I like the line they've got, take a stand just by sitting down as well.
Yeah.
It feels, for me, slightly like the wrong time. Train prices are going up. They've been going up this year and last year above inflation, whereas actually petrol prices have dropped since the high of 2022. Politically, if you like, countries and corporations pulling away from their green commitments. So it just seems odd to me that you'd be focusing so much on the environment when it feels like consumers would be much more interested in cost and pricing.
It's clearly a brand play, right? And they've clearly chosen this to kind of distinguish themselves in a crowded market. It's a fun creative. I definitely preferred the Glastonbury, like they did all the black billboards around very specific events, didn't they? I definitely preferred that. What I thought was slightly missing around this one as well, not just like that it was an interesting choice to choose this for their brand messaging versus like a cost messaging, is, there was an awful lot of commentary around this ad, like in the industry, around the reality is that you can make a big difference with a small change, and that small change would be traveling by train. That's actually not the message that you get from this campaign, though.
They are putting the onus almost on the consumer a bit, whereas, they're not talking about what other value they're giving back. So it would be interesting to understand like, are they doing anything on train journeys themselves? I know with their partnership they have with Premier League clubs, they give discounts to traveling fans, which is really great.
If you look at the comms around this campaign, they mention those partnerships. But for me, it makes a lot more sense there. Yes, there's this environmental benefit, but from a consumer, it's also actually you're not going to have to pay for really expensive parking, and it's going to be really congested and loads of traffic. Whereas actually those barriers don't exist if I'm just doing a normal journey, which I wouldn't have those. I wouldn't be facing that if I was traveling by car or even by plane, which many of my friends do, for 4-hour journeys, because it's 4, 5, 6 times cheaper than getting the train. I like the kind of the humor angle and the fact they've tried to take on that topic in a totally different way. And for me, I massively admire that. The only thing I would say though is when I'm saying that how much I love it, I'm referring to kind of like the last 80% of the ads. I absolutely detest the first 5 seconds. Like kind of stock footage, even that first line, they said it couldn't be done. I'm like, well, I don't think that's true. They said it could be done. We just need to take action now and sooner and more aggressive action. So just personally, if it was me, that was the bit I would have amended that first 5 seconds.
The one thing that really stood out for me is how they've used the language, like, let's all crack net zero together. Because first of all, when I've worked on this type of campaign in the past, net zero has come up as the phrase that people misunderstand the most, and nobody really knows what it means. And also, I just think with this, you need to keep the language really simple. But then the second part is really it should be the government's job to crack net zero, and it shouldn't have to be consumers doing all the legwork. So I think it's great that they are starting this movement, and it's making it less daunting to do something for the better. But really, it should be big companies and government that are doing the most part of it.
One of the biggest challenges with the sustainability crisis is how overwhelming it feels. And so much of the commentary is it's not down to individuals, rightly so. It's down to governments and big corporations. But what this does slightly is kind of put the onus on the consumer, but then at the same time not actually make it clear that the small difference you're making makes a big impact in the long run. It's got some really good things to it, but it misses a few opportunities to land messages more strongly. And I think if we're saying that it is a brand play, that is a real shame, because you only have, we're in a world where actually generating brand loyalty really tough. There's more obvious ways to do that. So it is a brave choice to make this, to choose the sustainability angle. I admire that, but I don't know that the execution is doing everything that it should be doing. I
don't know enough about Trainline's business model. Is that because they can't really control pricing? Is the pricing set by the train company? So is it that it's harder for them to leave it up? Because it seems odd to me that they wouldn't be looking at that more and looking at it as a way to help people make a sustainable choice, make it more affordable to do that. Whereas at the moment, like I say, it's 5-6x more. Even big earners are going to question, is that worth me paying that amount more? Just to, in fact, I'd argue you'd be better off, just driving and then offsetting your emissions. Yeah, I can't get my head around why they wouldn't be looking at something that talks about price and affordability, unless maybe it's just not in there. They don't have that lever.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right, Tom. They're an aggregator, right? And they can't do that. So what can they talk about that's emotive? And it's probably that. Would you sign off this campaign in its entirety? Thumbs up or down? 1, 2, 3. Oh, can't believe it. It's harsh. Tom, Laura, thank you so much.